Hello everyone, Sumit this side. Welcome to the Data Engineers Club. I was getting a lot of requests that, sir, can you arrange a session like just like it happens in a product-based company? Can you arrange such an interview, right? So I have asked Sudha Satwa, who is working in Google, to conduct such an interview. Now, Sudha Satwa would be the one who would be conducting this interview, who is a strategic cloud engineer at Google. He has overall 16 years of experience with more than 8 years in big data. He has worked on variety of technology stack and he is a very senior person knowing a lot. We have to learn a lot from him. Now, on the other side, we have Surbi. Surbi is an excellent, intelligent person, right? She is working as a senior software engineer in CNH Industrial. She has more than 6 years of total IT experience with 3+ years in big data. Now, this interview would revolve around DSA and SQL coding questions. That's how it goes in product based company, right? So in product based company you can expect some level of DSA and more of coding questions. So this interview would simulate as if it's a interview for a product based company, and I'm sure many of you would be waiting for this. So let's enjoy the interview.
Hi, Surbi. Good morning. So for this interview, for this day today, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on a couple of questions, on from the DSA side as well as from SQL, out of a handful of questions, so that we can try to see what kind of questions we encountered in a data engineering interview. So before we go in there, maybe quickly we can introduce ourselves. So my name is Sudha Satwa. I'm working as an AI engineer here at Google India. I've been part of Google for around 2 years now. I joined as a data engineer and then I've moved over into an AI role. So maybe I'll hand it over to you.
My name is Surbi, and I've been working as a data engineer for 7 years now, and I'm well versed with the cloud technologies. I started my career with a service-based company, and then moved into a product-based company. And I very well know the importance of DSA and SQL in these interviews. And since this is the first round, I am expecting that kind of questions only. So yeah.
Okay, so let me do one thing then. I'll share a document on my screen. I hope we can see the document now. So
I can see the document.
Brilliant. So let's start with our first question today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the questions here and then you can try the answers at the bottom. Let's try to discuss all the doubts or any queries you have related to the questions and then we can take it from there. Right. So my first question for today is sort of a DSA question only. So I would like to write a function into Python. Python may be the preferred choice. You may want to use any other language as well. Where given any string s as the input, I need to find the length of the longest substring without any repeating characters. Okay, now let's try to understand the question with some examples. So let's say the input is ABC, ABC, BB. Right? The output is 3. Why is the output 3? Because if you look at the string, the term ABC repeats itself twice. So that is the longest substring which is there without a repeat, which is ABC, right? But the length of that substring is 3. So the answer in this question, if I give an input like this, the answer will be 3. So we are not going to consider any repeats of the word or of the term ABC and ABC here, right? We're just going to take the length of the longest substring or a sequence of the letters, right? And let's say if I have an input like this, right, where there are 5 B's in the sequence, the output is going to be only 1 because it's only that one letter B which is actually repeated for 5 times, right? Uh, in the third case, right, for example, it is PWW KEW, right? The answer in this case is going to be WKE, right? So the answer in this case is going to be WKE, hence the length is going to be 3, right? So the answer here that we are actually looking for is the length. So given the input, we are just going to print out the length here. Now, obviously, the input is going to be English letters. It can also have, digits. It can have, symbols, spaces, and so on, right? And we are going to fix the length. So the length of the string can be equal to 0. So that's an edge case, or it can be greater than 0 as much as, let's say, 5,000 characters, let's say. If you have any questions, please go ahead.
So yeah, as I was saying, I will start to attempt, and then in case I get any questions in between, so I'll try to
Of
ask
course.
that in there. And I think I'll first try to tell you my approach rather than just jumping into the code, so that in case my approach is not going in the correct direction, I can seek some help from your side.
Of course.
So, yeah. So yeah, just taking 2 minutes to go through the question and understand it from my side also. And then I'll tell the approach.
Yeah.
Okay, so here I would like to start by saying that maybe we can take 2 pointers initially, and we can just make them both point to the very beginning of the string. And then I'll have a hash map or a dictionary kind of a thing to keep a track of the index of the last occurrence of each character. So for example, if I have a string, so I'll keep the last occurrence when that. So if I take the example of this, if I take the very first example, which is here, so my both the pointers will be there in the beginning, and then I'll create a dictionary kind of a thing which will keep the track, like the last position of A. So first element is A currently. So the position of A, the last position of A is this 0 index only. Then if I talk about B, it's first index. Then if I talk about C, it's second index. Now A has come again. So now whatever positioning A had earlier, which was 0, now we'll update back. We'll update it to the new one. So there's a dictionary kind of thing which I'll be creating, which will keep the last indexes of each of these elements which occurred. Then I'll iterate my string using because I took 2 pointers in the very beginning, which were pointing to the start of the string. I will iterate one of the pointers through the string. And then if the character at that particular right pointer, which is iterating through the string, is already in my dictionary and its index is greater than or equal to the left, then I'll update the left pointer to the index of the previous occurrence of that character and just add 1 to it. So basically these 2 pointers and the dictionary will help me keep moving ahead and updating the index of the last occurrence that is happening. Now the maximum length I'll update whenever a new maximum length is found, because we have to ultimately give in the output the maximum length. So yeah, whenever the repeating characters are not there, then the maximum length also will be increased by +1. And then the index of the current character will also be updated in that dictionary. And then I have to repeat this iteration steps unless and until I reach towards the very end of the string. So yeah, this is how I am planning to work with the help of two pointers and one the dictionary kind of a thing. Yeah. So
Okay.
and I think this approach is not the brute force one, because it's kind of an optimal approach, because here if I think if I talk about the time complexity or the space complexity, it is going to be O of n only, because we are not running multiple loops on the string. We are just running one loop, and that's it. So I think from a perspective of time complexity also, it's not going to n square, which is bad, or any other complexity. I think this this is a solution that I want to propose for this particular thing. And and if you feel it's correct, then I can start to start to type in uh, the approach that I mentioned.
Yeah, I believe that's a good approach. Let's give that a try. Also, a quick hint from my side, maybe you can try to utilize the fact that uh, any string, when represented in a language like Python, right, is already a list. So we can
Yes.
access its elements without creating any extra array. So if I'm talking about a list containing my name, which is a string, right, then I can actually access each of my elements as if I'm accessing any element inside the list. So keeping that in mind, we can simplify the code.
Yeah, we won't have to run a loop for just accessing the elements of the name, or the whatever string we are giving. Yeah, we can simply
Yeah.
just pinpoint the element that, okay, you are there, and just get it back. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the language that I'll be using is Python, because this is what in the industry I have been using. So yeah, Python has been my go-to language as a data engineer. So yeah, I'll be trying to use that language itself.
Sure.
Yeah. So um, I'm defining a function which will take this. We are calling S as the input, and we have to return a int. So I'm giving that int over here, and yep. Then yeah. So first I'm defining these variables, as I said, and then I'm creating a set which will contain, which is like a dictionary kind of structure, which will contain the indices of the last indices that we have encountered. And so here I'm trying to find the length of the string, like till where I have to iterate in the loop. I have to know that. So just Yep. So I think this would be my solution primarily. Yeah. So do you also want me to run like through one iteration so that
Yeah, I think that will be helpful. Yes.
yeah, okay. I think that will help me also in case somewhere some things here and there some formula has been messed up. So yes, I can
Yeah, sure.
help with. I can correct my code there as well. So I think initially I've kept both left and right is equal to 0. So that is there, and then we have this CAD index also, which is like empty right now. Nothing is there. And then when we encounter the first character, which is A, like let me just copy the string also that we are taking into consideration. Now what happens is this CAD index will take this A and keep it as 0 because it is of course the first character it has encountered. Then we move the right pointer to the next character, and now the right then this, since both were 0 and this was empty. Now once our I like this is the initial. Now we move to the right. Now this right has been updated to 1 as we move in this. And then now we encounter B. Because the next character is B. Now we'll have CAD index of B, which is equal to 1. We'll put that. Now we move to the next character, which is like C. Now my right is equal to 2, and now it's moved to 2. Now we move to the right, and we go to the next character, and we see that okay, now A has again popped up. So we already know that in this CAD index, which is a dictionary kind of structure, we already have A encountered. It's already there in the hash map, and now the index that we are encountering is 3, which is already greater than what we had earlier, which was 0. So we update the left to the index of the previous occurrence of the A. So the previous occurrence of A was here. So now my left will be updated to it was 0 earlier. Now it will be updated to 1 because it is because we are adding 1 from our side, and the earlier CAD index of A was 0. So I'm taking the 0 from there, from this point, and I'm putting the 0 here, and then I'm adding +1 from my side, and now the left pointer is updated to 1. And this has all been done because I got another A at index 3, which was greater than the earlier index, which was 0 for A. Yep. Now the substring. Now we'll substring the index from 1 to 3 because that's now the potential candidate for the longest substring. And now we calculate the length of the substring using this formula that we have, right minus left plus 1. So now since my left got updated, and for the right also we came till the third character. So yeah, it will be 3 minus 1 plus 1. And yeah, and here also, like since we did this, we'll be also updating the char index of A to 3, because that is what we encountered, and we did these two steps. One, because we got a, because we got the index, because we got that element again, and its index was greater than the earlier index. So yeah, in this way, then we'll move to B and repeat the same thing. And yeah, this is how we'll get the final output.
Brilliant. Great. I think we do have a solution. Any other ideas? Any other way we could have approached this?
Okay.
It's a
So maybe if I can't think of any other approach right now.
mhm.
Yeah, but I think definitely a problem has multiple ways to be approached. But yeah, not right now. I mean, it'll. But even if I have the approach, it'll revolve around these three things only. Like you take the pointers. You take 2 pointers, one from the start, one from the end, and but then we keep a array maybe to store it. Like we have used like a dictionary right now, maybe.
Hmm.
So yeah, in my mind, I'm able to think of only those solutions, because I'm also thinking to keep the time complexity to be same, not proposing any solution where the time complexity or even the space complexity increases, which is not a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think maybe I'll change. Maybe the only change I can think of is the change of the data type, because we do need a data type where we go and look up, because we need a lookup value that, okay, what was the last index of the element that was occurring. So yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
able to think of a very different approach right now, very similar to what I have implemented.
No, I think the approach is fine. Maybe a couple of things that we can do is, for example, we don't need self here. The second
Okay.
is we can just remove this to range
Oh, yeah.
length s. Yes. So
Yes.
that's the other thing. So the only other thing that we could do to make this a bit faster is that rather than taking this range here, what we could have done is we could have used two variables rather than one. One is the index of where the character is. Let's say that is I, and the other is the character itself inside the given string s. And then we could have used a function like enumerate, which is usually faster in
Yes.
case of a set in the Python. Or otherwise, I believe everything else is fine. We don't need to save this as well. So maybe we can. Yeah, I think that should be all.
Yeah, I think enumerate was a good solution. Yeah, because that's like the underrated function in Python. We all know about it, but we forget to use it because yeah. But I yeah, taken that suggestion. Yeah.
Great. So for the next question, let's take up a very small but interesting use case. So, for example, what we are going to do is uh, we'll take a sort of a SQL question,
Okay.
right? But this time, let's do it in this way. So, the question is something like this. So we have an orders table, and I'm not really sharing the entire data structure of the tables and the columns and the types and so on. But we have an orders table which contains the order ID, the ID of the customer, the billing address where the order was placed, and the shipping address. right? Now, I just want to find if there are any orders with a different billing address than the shipping address, right? The idea behind this is that are there any orders that I can identify which are actually potentially frauds, right? There can be a potential frauds, or they can be, uh, orders placed in a wrong way, right? So that I can intimate the customer that the billing and the shipping address is actually different, and then you can uh, inform them like a bad job, right? So can you help me write a SQL query for this?
Okay. Okay. So yeah, if I have an orders table and I have so here primarily we are talking here is about that if I have like just taking some random data as well, so that it makes me understand better that how
Sure.
it could have happened. So if I have I have an order O1 and a customer C1, and the billing address is ABC and the shipping address is like DEF, this is not a good case, and this is what we want to flag out. Versus if we have a case where we have this order one, customer one, and the it's same, we don't require that case essentially, right? Because here the billing address and the shipping address was same, so I don't primarily need it. I'm just here as well. So yeah, this is the order in which I have written. And then if I have a customer O2 where he has done order O2, which is done by this customer C. Okay, I think order ID would be unique because this looks like it should have been unique. So yeah. This also maybe I have to so can't this be solved by just taking this table and putting a filter on where this address, like my billing address is not equal to my shipping address, like a simple where, wouldn't a simple where condition work in this case where I just
Yes, it'll work. Should be the only challenge in that case is if you look at the examples that we have taken. So customer one has placed two orders, order one and order two, right?
right,
In case of order one, the billing address is not equal to the shipping address. In case of
yes,
order two, the billing
yes,
address is equal to the shipping address. So for each of the customers, uh, we need to find out as well if uh, we have any differences in terms of the orders, if you know what I mean. So we need to join the orders table by itself for the same customer. And
yeah,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, if I do a join, then I mean, I'm just trying to contemplate that what difference will it bring if I do a join. So for example, if I just self join this table
hmm,
with this one based on the customer ID.
yeah,
So yeah, I'll have a repeated row over here, which will be like ABC comma DEF. Let me just put it into another block, otherwise. Yeah, so if this is my input, and then here I'm trying to do a self join kind of thing. So yep, so here this row will come up, and this row will be repeated, of course, with this one where I'm saying that my order is EFG and ES. So yeah, for this row I'll get two rows. Then again for this one I'll again have the same thing. I'll have two rows. Yeah, and then for this one, I'll pretty much have the same thing because it doesn't have a. Yeah, so if I do a self join, I'll get this output, and yep. And now, if at all I okay, now let's try to identify the cases where here the shipping address and here the shipping address is same, and here the shipping address, sorry, the billing address is same in these. If I take the first row, and the shipping address is also same, but if I talk about the second row here, the billing addresses are different.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we can flag out this case, and even if you see that, if I see here the billing, so even yep, yeah. So here for these two rows, if you see, the billing address tends to be ABC, but the shipping address is either DEF or EFG, which is like varying. And in if I talk about this case, this order, so here the billing address is EFG while the shipping address is DEF, which came in from, of course, the previous case which we took. And yeah, so basically here my need was to, I think the only difference when we didn't have a self join and we have a self join is that here I would have flagged only this order of the customer, like only this O1 order that the customer C1 placed, while this order will not be flagged. But when I do a self join, I'll be flagging out this other order as well.
Yeah.
And the third one will of course come in because it doesn't have a matching billing address to a shipping address. 123 is not equal to 345. So maybe the ask here was to flag out all the orders by the customer that was placed. Even when one of the orders was faulty, we need to list down all the orders. Yeah.
Yes.
I think I misunderstood it at the very first go itself. So okay. So yeah, in case we want to find all the orders, then I think we do need to have a self join. So let me try to put it down in a code manner. So I'm supposing that nothing to be supposed. It's already in the table name is orders. So just let me start writing the query. So I'm trying to select from the orders table. I'm calling it maybe O1. And since I have to do a self join, I will write join orders. That is my O2. Now I'm joining based on O1 dot customer ID equal to O2 dot customer ID. Then we can simply put a where condition. Okay, if I'm only joining on customers versus if I join on the customer and the. Okay, I'm just now wondering if I do need to join just based on the customers, or do I need to join based on the orders as well? Because if I join based on the customer and the order combination, then this row that I've written, it will not come in the output itself, and even this row will be eliminated. So essentially, I'll be left with this row only. And if I'm left with this row, then I could have got the solution from here itself. Like there was no need of join. So yeah, I am eliminating these rows because these rows they doesn't make any sense because they are the same order ID is coming. So we'll just talk about like these rows where we don't have the same order ID. So my final set will actually not contain these 6 rows. When I do a self join, it will reduce this to we'll remove this one and we'll remove this one. And from this we'll decide that okay, was this address equal to this one? Was this address equal to this one? Or was this address equal to this one? Yeah. So here in the output, we are going to get all these 3 customers because yeah, they have wrong addresses, or they satisfy this case where the billing address is not equal to the shipping address. Yep.
I think that is a good one, because what you are doing with O1.order ID not equal to O2.order ID is to remove any duplicates and select only one where the where clause is going to match. I think that's a good approach.
Okay. Yeah.
The only challenge is with the larger data in the table.
Mhm.
So
If we get both like if we have this orders, which in fact is a fact table, so we'll have a big data set over here. So if we are doing a self join, it will create a ruckus uh, while joining the data. I
great.
think
I
what
think
we could have also done was maybe
yeah.
we created a CT where we first identified that okay, you are the particular customer, who is. So, for example, if I just take this table and if I just take this input and I just identify the cases lightly from here that okay, A, B, C, and D, E, F are different. So you are the customer who is not like whose address is mismatching, and then I have this C2 also. So first I identify the customers, and then if I go again into the orders table and then put a where condition or a filter condition kind of thing, I don't know if that is going to be more efficient. But yeah, that's the second thing that I can think of. Um,
Mhm.
like first identify the customers who are faulty, and then go back to the table and bring all the orders related to those customers.
Yeah. Or we can uh, use a case statement. So, for example, you want to select the order ID, the customer ID, the billing address, and the shipping address from the orders table. Now, in the where clause, I could write something like this, where let's say when billing address is equal to shipping address, then gives me a value is equal to 0. Uh, or else you have to give me a value equal to 1, and then I can end where the value is equal to 1. So I'll create a query first where I'll have the output of the case statement. Then I can wrap
Yeah.
it around with another query where I say where the value is equal to 1.
Yeah, kind of I mean, two parts only we'll have to the
Yeah,
query, like in yeah, where yes, where we first select those customers, either you use where condition or you use the case when condition. But yeah, essentially we are doing this to identify those customers where the inequality exists.
yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I think we are done. So let's stop the sharing. If you have any questions, should we please go ahead?
Yeah. Yep. I yeah, I don't have any questions as such, but I think both these questions, I mean, they were really good. I mean, so I think it was a good discussion where I got a lot of help from you as well, and yeah,
Great then. Thank you, Subi. I think we are done.
yeah, okay, thank you.